Alright, I'm going to do this entire video in one take. I'm not going to cut, edit. This is all going to be a one take video. So, this is the last video I'm making before I become Iron Man. So, the reason why I'm making this video is because, again, I've spent the last 5 years on this journey, and I've only spent about 6 months or less actually building my suit, which was all the way back in 2020. Which all of you know the story. I basically lost my job. I got laid off during the pandemic, and I had nothing left to do, so I built an Iron Man suit, which is the one that is right next to me over here in my shed. And shortly after building that suit, I had a whole bunch of family events happen, and I lost my house, and I had to move. And I've spent the last 4 years now just basically trying to figure out who I am. Who am I as a person? What am I here to do? What is my purpose, essentially? And I've really ironed that out. No pun intended. I've really actually ironed that out quite a bit, and I've broken it down pretty fine. And I'm at a point now where I know exactly what I need to do, and I've been struggling to just start. When they say that the hardest part is starting, they're not joking. It is quite literally the hardest part. But I've learned that after starting, once you build up that momentum, it is almost endless. And I just got to begin, and that's where I'm at right now. So I wanted to make this video really quickly. Not gonna be a long video, but I'm about to embark on this journey. I don't know where this journey is gonna take me. I have okay. So let me adjust that. So I know where this is gonna take me. I know exactly where I'm going to end up and what I'm going to end up doing and what I want, but I don't know. The path is unpredictable. I've already experienced a lot of stuff in the last 4 to 5 months I never would have expected. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically tell you guys what my goals are for the future, just so that way when you look back in this video, whoever looks back in this video understands that I knew exactly where I was going, and I basically predicted everything to happen, essentially. So with that being said, my goal is to become Iron Man. The real Iron Man. Not just a person with a suit. The real textbook definition Iron Man, Tony Stark. That is me. That is me in a nutshell. I believe truly that this is my destiny. There is nothing else on earth that I am meant to do besides become Iron Man. There's nothing else for me to do. I know because I've tried. I have tried everything, and I found that there is no path that makes any more sense than the path I've already been on for most of my life. I've been building since 2012. For 13 years now, I've been building these Iron Man suits, and before that, even since I was 4, building with Legos and experimenting with just, building it different kinds of ways, and, building blocks, Legos, cardboard, popsicle sticks. I've been building my whole life, and everything that has happened has led up to this point, and now I am at a stage in my life where I have to embrace that more than ever and do everything in my power to ensure that I do become the real life Iron Man. And the only way I can do that is by building the suit. Because the suit, and I've said this for years, I've actually said this for probably the last at least 5 years. This suit is the key to everything in my life. The suit will unlock every possibility, every outcome, every reality, every possible door that leads to success. The suit will unlock for me. I know because I've proved it. I've proved it several times now. I've proved it in 2020. I've proved it in 2021. I've proved it in 2024. I've proved it time and time again. And that's just the truth. There's nothing else I'm meant to do besides this, and it's been very hard because I've had to really come to terms with it. And when people either my fiance or my parents or my friends or my colleagues are why are you doing this? Why are you so fixated? It's because it's just been it's been a goal, a dream in my mind for so long, and I can't just put it into a little corner in the back of my mind and call it a day. Like it will never go away because it's my true destiny. And I just feel that over the last like 4 years, even almost the last 10, like I've just kind of, well, no, I'd say the last like 4 years. After 2020, I moved up here and I was just so fixated on just trying to pay bills and just like adapt to my new life. And I shoved that dream kind of in the back, and it's been just slowly emerging. And now it's at the point where everything is right in front of me. I have all the parts necessary. I've been collecting these parts for at least 3 years, which is amazing because the parts I used for the suit in 2020 were all parts that were quite literally just laying around my house. I mean, they were just things I had, at the ready, which I didn't spend any time gathering, really. I just had them basically ready to go. But the parts I have now I've been collecting for 3 years. So all these parts here have been handpicked by me at the dump for the last 3 years, which is amazing because I have so many things now. I mean, the possibilities for the suit are endless. I mean, I could do quite literally whatever I want. And when I build this suit, I truly feel my life will change forever. And I know that this seems like a broken record, which I'm sure it seems like it. I'm sure for anyone who's watched my journey of the last like 4 years, you guys have been waiting for me to build the suit. And as much as I've wanted to start it in 2021, 22, 23, 24, I felt that it's still not the time. Like I still haven't been ready. I still haven't learned certain life lessons, which has been true. Like I learned so much more every single year. And every time I go through a new year, I become better. I learn new things about life and about myself, and those things have molded me into the person that I'm truly meant to become, because I truly feel that if God and the universe wanted me to, have all this, the suit and everything and be super successful years ago, I would have been. I honestly would have been, but that wasn't the path. And honestly, I wasn't really the best version of myself possible years ago, back in 2020, and even like 2023 and 24, I still wasn't the best version of myself. And every single year, I'm getting better. And I think that, building the suit is more than just a project. It's a rite of passage. It's an interval in my life that I've had to achieve. I have to achieve building the suit. I have to. How do I put this? Yeah, I guess honestly, to put it plainly, it is kind of a rite of passage. Like the suit, it's not something like, again, every piece, that I've collected on a good day or a bad day, or just a so-so day, like every single piece I've collected, has been collected on a day where I may have hated the world, I may have been happy, I may have, been contemplating, certain things in my life. It just, a lot of these pieces I actually remember from many different points in my life, that were some very important and some not, and it's just, it's amazing to think that all these pieces, every part and piece I've collected over this journey has traveled all the way up until now to be used for this suit, this culmination of all these different parts of my life, all these different memories, all these different, these experiences are all now coming together in one piece, which is going to be basically a new me. The thing that I've always worried about, and I kind of experienced this in 2020, just to get real for a second, is being successful too quickly. Being successful too quickly is, can be detrimental. It can be very destructive and very corrosive, because certain people have to go through certain things to really have the gratitude and have the, I guess just have the, good moral standing and the gratitude. A lot of people, they get successful and they get cocky, and that's what corrodes them. It corrodes their spirit, and it corrodes their character, and it becomes this ultimately destructive, almost cancer of the spirit and the mind. And I've seen a lot of very, very famous people, you go from being very wholesome and very very centered and very morally sound to very, off balance and very, non-morally sound and very disgusting, and I've just, not that I ever anticipated myself becoming that, but looking back on, my short period of success after 2020, I started to realize that, wow, like I was really cocky. Like I was really turning into someone that I don't think made, God really happy with me. I didn't think that, and I understand why I got a lot of things taken away. I think that God took certain things away from me because he didn't want me to grow up and to become Iron Man and be this cocky, person. He didn't want me to be this, this dude who just thought he was going to get everything and, show it off and flaunt. I think that God had a lot more in store for me than to be that kind of person, which is so many other people. And I'm glad I got things taken away. I'm glad that I went through a period of loss, and I get it. Like I resented it for so long, and I was so angry at the world and so angry at God and so angry at myself, for letting things like, vehicles and, relationships and so many things just slip through my fingers constantly. I was always asking God, why have you done this to me? Why have you cursed me with constantly losing the best things in my life? Why have you done this to me? And I realized that I was just doing it to myself. If I was, I had a lot of growing up to do. And I feel that God has waited for me to develop into the person I am now to have this suit and have this next level of success. He's had to iron me out, my spirit and my character, and refine my entire image that I have for myself and, the image I have of the world, because for a long time I thought that the world around me was this, very barren, very desolate place I had to escape from. And that's not necessarily true. The world is full of possibilities. They may be down the street. You never know what's in store. I mean, again, it's all up to it really comes down to just your mindset. And I think that God also waited for me to develop this mindset where it's not so much, I have to get out of here and go to the next place and just try to have success here. I think that God wanted me to realize that success is all about, it's all about the mind. It's all about how you look at the world and how you look at everything and how you perceive the world around you. That is, the true definition of a strong and good mindset. And I think that he's waited for me to kind of realize that I don't have to just constantly escape and get out of here. And, like I'm meant to be here right now. Like this is exactly where I'm meant to be. And I've spent years thinking it's not, which I think has delayed my growth and my progress. I've always, cursed where I've been at. And in reality, that's exactly where I've been meant to be, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think a lot of people, they take for granted what they actually have, and instead of cursing it, they should be just be very thankful. Like I'm very thankful I have a place where I can let all my ideas flow and grow and develop and, turn into incredible things. I've spent the last two plus years, turning this shed, this creative space into an area where I can, it's basically my own dream garden. Honestly, it's a place where I can, water all my ideas and have them grow. And, a lot of the things in here I've actually gotten from the dump and from the transfer station, like all the things, some of my best tools that I have. Most of my tools, in fact, I've actually gotten for free, over the last 2 years from the dump. My computer, my sound system, my drill press, my grinder, my furnace. Some of the best things I have in here I've gotten for free. And it's just, it's really been an amazing journey. And I just wanted to make this video to, first of all, thank God for everything that's been given to me up until this point in my life. I wanted to thank God for developing me into the person I am now and gifting me all the resources and the space and everything that I have today, I wanted to just thank God for all the opportunities that have been presented for me, good and bad, that I've gone through and learned from, and have crafted me and molded me into the person I am now. I want to thank God for that. Everything good and bad has turned me into what I am, and ultimately, what I am is the best version of myself so far. So I can only be grateful. Going forward, my plans for myself and Ironman and my company, which I've also just recently legalized with the state, Navtech Enterprises is going to be a fantastic company that I will be so happy to pass on to my children eventually. And at some point, very, very soon, I will have ownership of a restaurant, and I will hopefully also have a gaming studio, and I will hopefully also have eventually my own mall, and I will eventually also have my own comic book company, and I will eventually have my own computer company, and I will eventually become the real life Iron Man. And that is my destiny. That is exactly who I'm meant to be and what I'm meant to do on this earth. And there's so much more that I feel is going to happen, you know, in terms of just not necessarily even the business side, but just the, you know, the community side, and to, you know, collaborate and interact with people and the world around me. You know, like for instance, my community is the United Makers Association. It's going to be one of the biggest communities on earth, and I cannot wait to restart that. But I can't really restart it unless I have success with Iron Man. I have to become Iron Man first. You know, like Iron Man was the beginning of the Avengers. It's the same deal for me. It's the exact same. You know, I started the UMA in 2020 when everyone was, you know, disconnected and isolated from, you know, everyone around them across the world. And I started it to unite people together in a time of darkness. And that time will come very soon. I definitely have to get to at least 100,000 followers on Instagram, and at least, I would say, a good 500,000 on TikTok before I restart the UMA. I also have an idea for the IVA, which I'm very excited. I'll just drop that. The UMA, the IVA, my Shift community, which I'm basically announcing actually in this video, which I'm very excited about. Which I've been basically hinting at for the last several years now. Shift, and there's going to be a lot more. You know, eventually I want to create a system that unites people from all across the world, and I know exactly what it's going to be called. I know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I need to be successful first. I need to quite literally become Iron Man before I make any of this happen. This is the first step. And, you know, again, I'm making this video so that people can come back and see, you know, basically where my mindset's at, what my aspirations are. You know, I'm quite literally partnering with a good friend of mine now in the next town over, so we can open a restaurant, which will hopefully be another great source of income, which I'll also be opening my own video game studio at, which I basically did a testing run for in San Francisco last year at Open Sauce, which I also got accepted for this year as of yesterday. So in less than 3 months, I'm going to Open Sauce Expo in San Francisco, California. I don't exactly know how I'm going to get there. I don't even have the money to go, but I'll get there. I will get there. Somehow, some way, just like last year. Last year, in early to mid-May, I didn't even have a way to get there. I didn't even have a car to get there, or the money. But lo and behold, I got a 4-door pickup truck via my wonderful mother, which I'm so grateful for to this day, which I still use it. And I had major success on TikTok, and I made several $1,000s, and I was able to fund my whole trip. So, and also my father helped me get back home because the gas was really expensive in California. But I'm very thankful. I also wanted to give thanks to my beautiful, wonderful fiance for just accepting me for who I am and continuing to believe in me, because just like with Pepper Potts and Tony Stark, you know, there are times where Pepper Potts, you know, is screaming and yelling and like wondering like, oh my God, how's Tony going to survive? How's Tony going to do this? How's he going to do that? but she still stays with him, and there are rocky moments, but it's just meant to be in the end. And you know, it's the same way with me and my fiance. So Faye, I love you. Thank you. I want to say thank you as well to my parents, my mother and father, who have helped to lift me up until this point financially. They have helped me with a lot of my bills and a lot of just, you know, my heating oil and, you know, again, helping to pay for my truck and various other expenses. So I wanted to say thank you so much to my wonderful parents for everything you guys have done for me. And thirdly, I wanted to thank all my friends who have watched me in this journey, some of which I know I haven't talked to for a long time because I've been busy trying to figure myself out, but nevertheless, I've been thinking about you guys all the time, and thank you for just, again, you know, watching and checking up on me every now and then. Especially my best friend Sam, who's in Texas, who I call pretty much almost every week. So thank you, Sam. And I lastly wanted to thank all my followers who, even though have waited now basically like 4 to 5 years for me to start becoming Iron Man, I wanted to thank all my followers, new and old, everyone in between, who has waited and waited and waited for me to finally build this suit. I want you all to realize that this is not your typical building process. This has been a spiritual journey as well as physical. This has been the most invigorating. I mean, this has been the toughest thing I've ever had to do in my entire life. This was like worse than going through high school, and well, not worse, but it's been very draining, very energizing, and everything in between. It's been quite a journey, and you know, there's been lots of highs and lots of lows, and you know, I've had a lot of people unfollow me, I've had a lot of people follow me. So for those people who are still sticking with me, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for everything, because again, you know, when I first tried posting my content back in like 2017, it was an epic failure on YouTube. You know, I gave up on it, and I was like, no one's gonna watch it. Like, it's just not the time, you know. But if I could go to my past self right now and tell him that I'd have over 500,000 combined followers across all accounts, I wouldn't even believe it. I wouldn't even know what to say. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who has supported me and is going to continue to support me, and to the people in the future who are going to find this video who are also supporting me, who aren't even following me yet. Thank you ahead of time. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you will watch this journey and not just see me for building an Iron Man suit, but to see me building myself, because that's really, at the end of the day, what's most important. You know, you're nothing without the suit. Or no, excuse me. Oh my God, I just botched it. I just totally botched the line. If you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. Like, truer words have never been spoken. Like, Tony Stark put it so perfectly. Like, if you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it. And that's true. Like, for many years, like, I haven't been the person that I've meant to be, like, you know, and I haven't deserved the suit. Like, God hasn't given me the tools and everything necessary, the timing and, you know, everything to build the suit. And now, like, I have it all. Like God's giving me basically a green light and telling me that now is finally the time. Like, you have earned your rite of passage. You are ready to build the suit. Like, there's nothing left for you to do now but build and become Iron Man. That is what God is telling me now. And it's so clear. It's clearer than ever. And honestly, it's been very, it's been very intimidating. And actually, it's been very scary because, you know, I've been on the journey of getting to this point for so long, so many years. I've spent, you know, gathering pieces and just trying to work all these jobs and just, you know, find a space to build this, you know, whether it's in my house or in the shed, or somewhere else, and I've just been scrambling for so long, and now that I'm finally here, like I'm at the finish line, and I'm ready to go right into another race, and it's quite literally like the end of a certain version of myself, because now I'm ready to. And I'm even getting I'm getting goosebumps just even thinking about this. Like I'm ready to evolve into a whole new person, a whole new life, and that change is scary. That shift can be scary, but I know that I have God, I have my wonderful fiance, I have my parents, I have my friends, I have all my followers who are watching me and supporting me and are here to cheer me on. And I'm very grateful for that. So I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready to build. So with that being said, let's begin.